Locations differ, like night and day. But each team has seen their share of the light.
The Gators have shocked the world.
The Florida Gators have won another national championship.
Miami upsets the top-ranked Nebraska.
Glory days that stretched into legacies and created legends. For over 75 years, the Gators and the Canes have sought the spotlight in the Sunshine State.
We got 40 minutes for the rest of our lives. I'm putting my heart in this, dog. Let's go, man.
The feud for Florida resumes right now.
Let's pour it on over, don't let him up.
Let the celebration begin. Game 1 of season 150 in college football. We come to you from the summer swelter, August in Florida. Camping World Stadium in Orlando, middle ground between the two campuses in Gainesville and Coral Gables. And the tickets tonight are as hot as the temperature. Great hype and buildup as the Hurricanes and the Gators collide, and each trying to launch a special season. Game 1 for head coach Manny Diaz at Miami, the man he worked for twice, Dan Mullen, the Gators boss. And welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Tim Tebow and Ed Reed couldn't get you ready for season 150, check your pulse. We are excited to launch a season-long celebration, Kirk, with a game that's more special because it's not played very often. And both these teams know they get one chance in their career to beat this in-state rival.
Man, if I were a head coach, I would have showed my players that right there with what The Rock did. It really got me fired up. I think this is exciting because you have an opportunity to have two teams kicking off the 2019 season that really want to get after each other. These guys, you know, you think of Florida and Florida State, but Miami and Florida have as much of an attitude towards each other because they play Pee Wee and high school football. So this is going to be a fun one tonight.
Gators are the favorite because they surged at the end of last season and because Felipe Franks, Kirk, is a proven commodity at quarterback.
Yeah, he really played well at the end of the year. In fact, I would say he played his best football at the end of the 2018 season, the last 4 games. What I saw was he was willing to use his legs more, moved around. It put pressure on defenses, and that's really what Dan Mullen was trying to encourage him to do all year. So he's had an entire offseason to think about what he did well. Second year in Dan Mullen's system. They're going to play faster. I expect him to make quicker decisions. Miami's got to get after him to have much of a chance of slowing him down.
We both sense that the Gator players don't have much respect for Miami or the ACC. Miami has a lot of doubters, and that's why the heartbeat of the team, the linebackers, Mike Pickney and Shaq Quarterman, came back. They put the draft on hold to hopefully build a legacy, erase the bitter taste of last season's collapse. And how many big plays can this defense make, Kirk? Most people think a lot. They're going to have to because the offense very much a work in progress.
It's great to see both these leaders back because it'll help Manny Diaz and what he needs to do, not just tonight, but all year. That defense can keep them in the game, but if the Canes are going to pull off an upset, they got to turn to a redshirt freshman quarterback. There was so much hype over the offseason about Tate Martell going to Miami. He ends up getting beat out by Jarren Williams, redshirt freshman, highly touted coming out of high school, very comfortable sitting back as a kind of a freshman. But here's the thing, you got as a freshman quarterback, here's the thing you got to remember. He's got a true freshman left tackle, a redshirt freshman at right tackle, and a center making his first start. So this is as much about the offensive line as it is the quarterback.
It's wonderful to have Maria Taylor on the team again with the man about to make his head coaching debut for Miami. Maria?
That's right, Chris. And Manny, as you make your debut with this school against an in-state rival, how have you described the importance of this game to your team?
It's important anytime Miami and Florida get together. And our guys have a standard they have to play to, set by those that came before us. Intensity, they know about it. They've been training for it. I can't wait to see them go.
All right, let's talk about the standard you set for the redshirt freshman starting at quarterback. What has to go well for him early in order for him to have success?
This is Green Tree Field. That's all this is. With all due respect to Camping World, do what you did in practice, be who you've been every day, and that'll be more than enough.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Green Tree is their practice field. Very different demeanor with these two head coaches. You can see that Diaz in game 1 is intense and locked in. Now, he worked for Dan Mullen twice at Mississippi State, each time for 1 season. In 2010, had a great team, went on, took the job at Texas, got fired by Mack Brown. Mullen hired him back in 2015. And again, Manny left him after 1 season to come to Miami. Dan says he made Diaz a celebrity. in his words.
Definitely helped as he climbed the ranks of the coaching profession.
Gators won the toss and deferred. Miami receives. So everybody around the nation watching. What a way to launch CFB season 150. And it'll be a touchback. So here he comes with the heart no doubt pounding, because the only experience Jarren Williams had last year was against Savannah State. Now he comes from Lawrenceville, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. Won the job because he can extend plays. He's a good athlete. He's gone to work in his body. He's leaned down, trained his mechanics, Kirk, but he's never faced anything like this Gator defense.
Well, there was so much made out of Tate Martell that I think people overlooked the talent of Jarren Williams. I mean, he's Elite 11, highly touted coming out of high school, and this is what he's wanted to do, be able to lead a team and a brand like the Miami Hurricanes, and he gets his start to his career tonight.
It's KJ Osborne on the jet sweep. Gators string it out, and the man who's the graduate transfer from Buffalo, very productive receiver, and already there's pushing and shoving along the sidelines over there.
Well, this is the big question mark up front. Zion Nelson is a true freshman. He's put on some weight to help him. They say he's a future superstar. He's the guy to watch on the left side. Also, John Campbell, another redshirt freshman right here out of Orlando. You see the skill players, Jeff Thomas and Harley, both have speed. And Brevin Jordan could be a matchup advantage for Miami if Williams is given time to throw.
DJ Dallas, a feature back for the first time. Motions out now on 2nd and 8. Empty backfield.
Ball coming out quick here.
Gators rush for it, does come out quickly, and it's complete to the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And he's got space and a crease and a first down across the 45. They really use their tight ends well in this offense.
Yeah, we just talked how he can be a matchup, really a receiver that plays tight end. Take a look at the Gators defense, and Zuniga is their leader up front, 92. He can make a lot of plays, and with the loss of some of the players from a year ago, he'll be more of a playmaker. David Reese, 33 in the middle, is really the quarterback of that front seven. Keep an eye on the back. I think Steiner, 13, big responsibilities with communication. Could have the best tandem of corners in all of college football, with Henderson on one side and Wilson on the other.
And it's play action. Williams under immediate pressure, flips it off to Dallas in the flat, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Trying to rotate. You mentioned the weather, the heat, the humidity. These players on both sides used to practicing in this, obviously, in this climate. Be very, very smart to see the defenses, especially rotating bodies early in this game. There's a good look at Jeremiah Moon coming into play as a backup, and you'll see that throughout this game.
It's your kind of weather, Coach.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I love when the dew point gets up around 70. It's my favorite.
You can practice in it, and they both do, but the intensity of the game makes it even tougher.
Yeah.
Yep. 2nd and 10. Williams, another quick throw. Osborne gets a block on the edge. And now gets to the sideline. And will be inside the Florida 40 with a first down. Got a block from Harley on the edge.
They're getting the ball out quick. And it's smart. We just talked about how Dan Enos would want to do that. Watch the block by Harley. Does a good job of being able to pick up Wilson right there. Now it's just one-on-one. One-on-one, who's a better player? And that time it's Osborne being able to get away from the defender, Trey Dean, and picking up that first down. There's a nice rhythm to this opening drive by Dan Enos. And remember, his redshirt freshman quarterback, Jarren Williams.
96 catches for Osborne's Buffalo career. Extremely hard worker. Become a leader instantly in Coral Gables. It's another play action on first down. They'll flip it short, and they've got Jordan, the tight end, and he's got some space. Huge chunk plays for this Hurricane offense on the opening drive.
Well, play action is outstanding. It freezes the linebackers. Watch the linebacker play right here. Get a little confused, lose their eyes, and it opens up. Nobody picks up Jordan. And again, we talked about him being a matchup problem. It's pretty easy when the linebackers off of play action are out of position. And now you can see he has wide receiver speed playing out at tight end out of Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas.
5 plays, 4 for 4 for Williams. High percentage throws to begin his career as a starter. From the I formation, toss sweep. Dallas patiently picks his way, but he is met hard by Marco Wilson, the corner, coming off a couple of ACLs, and there's Henderson, the other corner.
Well, he gave great effort there, and that's what DJ Dallas is going to bring. It looked like it might be a gain of 2, but he bounced off of that continue to keep his legs moving and ends up picking up 5 or 6 yards. So he got hit pretty hard. This is what, everybody's wondering who's that back going to be for Miami. He's not flashy. See how he doesn't give up on it, keeping his hand down, got an extra 5 yards there. And now you set up a much better second manageable and just staying on schedule for Jarren Williams.
Now, can they cash in the red zone? This was a problem for the Hurricanes offense in recent years when Mark Richt was calling the plays. Play action. Williams slipped as he sets up, and he will be dropped behind the line. Ventrell Miller from the linebacker position, but the loss of traction messed up the rhythm.
Yeah, also by bringing the blitz, I think it's the first time blitz off to his left, and the back, Dallas does a good job of locating it, but you can see his primary was taken. It's the first time in his drive he's in the pocket, and instead of getting the ball out quickly to that first look, he had to hold the ball because of good coverage downfield and the offensive line. Remember, that young offensive line not able to hold back the athletic Gator defense.
Crowd loud on 3rd and 12. Williams trying to buy time, flips it short. Jordan again, and he'll be tackled. Ball comes out late. It's a scrum. Hurricanes say they've retained possession, and they have, but they're short of the marker. Jordan active in his opening possession.
He is a pretty athlete, and that was a short pass, and yards after the catch. That ball did come out, but he fought to be able to pick it up. There's 3 or 4 Gators there. Right away, heads-up play by Brevin Jordan. That ball looked like it may have come out, but again, instead of just giving up on it, look at all those Gators jerseys. Brevin Jordan, he looks like actually a left elbow may have been down.
31-year field goal. Bubba Maxson, 2 kickers who were tremendous as freshmen, very accurate back for sophomore seasons, and he slides it inside the right upright. So solid debut for Jarren Williams. His first series as a starter takes the Canes to 3 points. Felipe Franks and the Gators with their first possession coming up. Positive start. The sweltering conditions in Orlando as Miami takes the opening kickoff. Jarren Williams with some high percentage completions, spreading the ball around, and the Canes draw first blood as touchdown underdogs tonight. Maxa is one of 2 Bubbas with the same number in Miami, but you will not see Bubba Bolden, number 21, the safety transfer from USC, not quite cleared by the NCAA. They'd hoped to have him. They thought they would, but he's not going to be in the lineup tonight. Freddie Swain and the dangerous Kadarius Toney are back deep, and this will be Toney on the bounce at the goal line. He is dynamic in space, but really nowhere to run, and the Canes coverage team drops him at the 22-yard line. Here comes Felipe Franks. Kirk, he was benched in November. When he got another chance, he surged down the stretch. 4 strong games. He's grown up a lot. Still not the most vocal leader, but he says he's getting better at tuning out all the static.
Yeah, he'll have to do that tonight because I'm sure Miami will be trying to talk to him and get him out of his game. The thing that I think most people saw was his willingness to use his feet late in the year seemed to get him confident, and I think it opened up other aspects of this Gators offense, including the running game and his ability to create. I think a lot of people are anxious to see after those 4 games, especially Florida State and Michigan, how he starts off this year.
Play action on 1st down, and Franks throws the arm strength and loops it to the sidelines. It's incomplete. Tried to get the ball to Van Jefferson, his deep threat covered by Trajan Bandy. Talked about the Hurricanes offensive line. Only Buchanan really played meaningful snaps in the bowl victory over Michigan. There's some older guys, but they haven't been starters before. Plenty of skill. The top 7 receivers in this offense are back.
Yeah, and I think Perine's a good back, a solid SEC back. He can do everything. Catch the ball to the backfield. He's a great blocker in pass protection. Runs hard between the tackles. Dropped some weight over the last year or 2. He's much quicker.
He's got the ball on 2nd and 10 and kind of works his way up the middle for about 6. Miami's defense was the strength of the team last year, expected to be again. Jonathan Garvin has been unblockable in camp. He expects to be in the backfield tonight.
And a new young name is Jonathan Ford, 96, to keep an eye on the inside. course, Bandy, who was just there in man-to-man coverage, and a newcomer, Urban Hall, a new safety. They have 3 new starters in that secondary. 26, you'll see him flash tonight.
Gators need 5 on this 3rd down. Gaines rush 4 against the empty backfield, and Franks has time, tries to scramble, now backpedals, eludes Garvin, but he just got a hand on the quarterback's shoe and stops him short of the marker. And here comes the punt team.
Yeah, one of the things that Miami wants to do is try to force Felipe Franks to his left. He has a tendency when he wants to scramble to go to his right because of the accuracy that way. He's not as comfortable to his left. They do a good job of flushing him that way, spying with the linebacker, and they get a 3-and-out on the first series against the Gators.
Here's the line to make. Cam will feature that all season long as Franks comes into your living room. And you saw Garvin just enough speed and reach to make that play. Tommy Townsend takes off on the fake. Can he get there? Yes, and the punter makes a huge early gamble by Dan Mullen pay off. He did that last year.
How about the speed by the punter? I mean, he got around the corner and started to pull away. Gutsy call, you're right, Chris, by Dan Mullen. Sensing maybe needs a little bit of energy here early in this game, and he picks up that first down, goes for it deep in his own territory, and catches the Canes off guard.
Wow. Early gamble after the 3-and-out.
Townsend's got some wheels, man. He was going.
It's his hometown. Senior right here in Orlando. Got plenty of friends and family looking in, and he makes a big play. So the Gators set up at the 34. Tony gets a block, and he's a blazer. A dynamic guy. They'll use him all different roles. He's still going. Kadarius Toney. They won't catch him. Touchdown, Gators.
Well, when you have an aggressive defense, offenses can take advantage of that, especially early in the game when there are a lot of emotions that are running through a defense. These linebackers, they're veteran, but they're flying with play action. They got out of position, and they gave Tony a lot of space, and those linemen who are pulling out in front of him, a lot of space for him to work and run.
66 yards. And the Mullen gamble pays off with the electric follow-up touchdown. They thought they had him hemmed in, but Tony escaped and then turned on the jets, and he doesn't lose foot races. Dan Mullen in a gambling move, and it pays off for Florida, 7-3. Florida's national championship coaches both here. Urban Meyer wearing a Gators shirt. That might surprise some Florida fans, but he was invited back. Only game he could see because he's got TV duties on another network. And of course, the head ball coach. Great to visit with him in Gainesville on Thursday.
We had him on College Game Day this morning with Mike Irvin and Tim Tebow talking about Florida football and Miami football. It was a lot of fun.
He wants you to know that his team in the Alliance League won the championship. The Orlando Apollos right here in this town.
Hell yeah.
Canceled the season, but they were crowned champions. And leaving it right there is Jeff Thomas. So Williams, second possession. He was 5 for 5 on the opening drive. And make it 6 for 6, although hammered right away as Mark Pope, Marco Wilson, who's coming off his second ACL, is just driven to have a big season.
And yeah, absolutely. And this trend with Dan Enos and Jaron Williams continues. Ball out fast. Very surprised we've not seen Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator from Florida, make the adjustment. Eventually it's going to come. They tighten up the coverage. They have 2 great corners. Take that cushion away and take those easy throws away. See, now they're a little tighter.
Play action on 2nd and 6. Immediately pressure. Williams escapes, and he'll be sacked for the second time down near the 15. Adam Schuler and John Grenard, the transfer from Louisville, got there.
Grenard is the guy who gets by. Remember, we have a true freshman at left tackle, Nelson, going up against a seasoned veteran. You see the get off there by Grenard? The freshman didn't have a chance. He really affected the play, and then the rest of the Gators defense comes in to clean it up.
Grenard back on the same field where when he played for Louisville last year in the opener, suffered a very serious wrist injury, dislocated rib tendons, cost him the whole season. He said he's back here tonight to face his fears because he's thinking about that injury, but makes a play early.
You can see the intensity on his face. The get off at the line of scrimmage.
Gotta hurry. On 3rd and 22, they just hand the ball up the middle, and Dallas will try to stop the bleeding and improve the position for the punt. David Reese, linebacker, made the tackle. Ball came up, but he was well blown dead. So we're going to get a chance, Kirk, to see one of my Aussies. You know how much I love the Aussie punters, and Lou Headley, who leads the universe in tattoos. I ask him how many, but it's kind of all just one tattoo.
Yeah, that's one.
On the forearm is the favorite tattoo of him. It's a cow being abducted by an alien spaceship. You need say nothing else about the dude, that he has that tattoo. Western Australian drives it low, and it's returnable for Swain. But he is hemmed in, and the Canes coverage team does a good job dropping him at the 40-yard line. Franks and the Gators back to work, up 4.
Welcome back to Camping World Stadium, where we've already seen the Florida Gators get their first touchdown of the game, led by quarterback Felipe Franks. And he's been through several ups and downs, but the thing that keeps him consistent and believing that he can succeed is being a country boy. He grew up in a town of just about 3,000 in Crawfordville, loved dirtback riding, he loved riding horses, and Ginger Franks told me that her son, Jordan and Felipe, every single thing that they did has made them persevere today because they practically grew up in a farm, guys.
Not Panhandle, Marie. Jordan's been a mentor for his younger brother. Now Tony, the touchdown scorer, gets the handoff on a sweep and spins and is knocked down hard, but got about 6 on first down.
Well, Felipe Franks, I think last year had to use some of that toughness, and he admitted that on a feature we had this morning on College Game Day. He was talking about how he needed to grow up and never really had faced adversity, and I think his roots really helped him because when you get booed at your own stadium, that's a tough thing to deal with, and he just went back to work and got more determined and kind of fought back, and as I said, he finished playing his best football in those last 3 or 4 games.
Michael Pirine, who's stacked up. It's going to be 3rd and 4. He told me he deleted from his phone the apps for Twitter and Instagram because he's one of those guys, like so many players, would run to the phone to see what was being said about him, if it was good or bad.
Fights like you after the game.
No, sir, come on. Look in the mirror on that one, bro.
No, I run. I give it 4 days to cool off.
Cheap shot, Herb Street. 3rd and 3. It's a long 3.
Put it on a tee, dude.
Canes try to heat up the pocket. He gets the ball out quickly, but being hit immediately. Right there by Trajan Bandy is Pirine. He got cut down. Bandy is slow to get up. It's 4th down.
He's the one veteran in this secondary. They showed, man, he comes off of it well and actually does a great job of taking Pirine just about a yard short of the first down. Glad to see him come off the field, and they get a stop. You know, ever since that fake punt, things felt a little bit different favoring Florida. You see Pirine also injured on that play. They're actually going for it.
Going for it. Or at least appearing to need a yard from their end of the field.
Remember, the quarterback is a big man.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney was in the backfield. And they give it to the speedster. The Canes were ready for it, but pure speed gets the first down. They weren't fooled. They were just beaten to the edge.
And that's good against good, because that's Bandy, who's one of the top corners, in my opinion, in the conference, going up against the speed and the athletic ability of Toney, and he gets to the edge with that stiff arm and is able to get out there, because I think Bandy was anticipating that they're going to go to him in the backfield and run his way. He was in position, but give Toney all the credit making that play on 4th down.
So how about Mullenkirk? They fake it in their own end. Now they go for it in 4th and 1 from their own 49.
Take a shot after that?
That's the end of the first quarter.
That's what we thought, Mike. Now I'll continue my summary of the first quarter as the Gators turn a fake punt into a touchdown and lead it 7-3 after the first period in Orlando. And welcome back to the 2019 Camping World Kickoff, presented on ESPN by Hampton by Hilton. Beginning of the second quarter, a pretty significant play. Florida up 4. College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. The Superdome in New Orleans. Championship night is Monday, January 13th. The semifinals are on the 28th in Atlanta and in Glendale. Kane legends, Mr. Searcy,
yeah,
Stogie going.
Yeah, Michael Irvin's down there.
He's concerned about what he sees from that Canes offensive line so far.
Keep putting his Canes defense in a tough spot.
Malik Davis, sophomore from Tampa, is the back as the Gators begin at the +40. And he's got the handoff, cuts it back into the middle, and fights hard for about 2 yards. Maria?
Chris, I got to tell you, Miami's defense was completely flustered to start this game. They were arguing about assignments and missed tackles. But, of course, as soon as the turnover chain comes out, the momentum completely shifts. I heard that they saw the chain this morning, literally leaving the hotel on the way to the game. And, of course, Scott Patchin gets it. Remember, returning from 2 ACL tears, changed his number to 71 to match his dad, who's won 2 national titles at Miami.
Yeah, it's changed every year, Maria, and they don't get a look at it ahead of time. Davis bobbles the snap. It's on the ground. They're fighting for it. It's a scrum, still loose out near midfield, and I think the Gators got it back. Nick Buchanan, it was the center falling on it. Wow.
And the play, it looked to me again like a little bit of miscommunication. The execution didn't look like it was the best. Oh, they gave it to Miami.
Wait.
I was with you. The big center Buchanan was right there. He must have let the Miami defense rip it away from him.
Let's take a
See,
look at the bottom of the
execution
pile
isn't
here.
the best, and he never had a handle on the ball. And you'll see the big center 66 looks like he has it. He's down, but look, no, he never quite had the ball, and the Miami players end up taking it away from him.
And the chain comes out again. That's Quarterman making his 40th start. Well, the turnover stands, the second fumble for the Gators tonight, and Miami gets another gift. And now it's DJ Dallas in Wildcat formation, takes off, breaks a tackle, and busts it in inside the 30. And it's the Canes' chance to reclaim momentum.
Yeah, a little wrinkle of their own, and a very, very natural runner in Dallas. How about Tate Martell, the quarterback? He goes in motion. They fake to him, and then they get a great double team there with the right guard and the right tackle, which opened it up. They were able to finally run the ball. We were at break, Chris, and I said, we're talking so much about Jaron Williams and the pass protection. Where's the running game of the Canes? That's really a Dan Eno's staple, is running the ball and going to play action. That time they're able to find some room finally to run.
Almost got 24 yards. And Williams takes off, flushed out of the pocket, now tries to bounce it back to the right. That's a young guy, deer in headlights in heavy traffic, getting a couple.
Well, I think it's also Dan Eno's telling him, listen, with pass protection, you either find your receiver and go, make the throw, or take off. We don't have time to sit back there and evaluate things tonight. We got a lot of new linemen up here. We got a really athletic defense that's coming after us. You either make your initial read and get the ball out, or we got to rely on your athletic ability
But
to
you
take
go
off.
in a straight line. He was zigging and zagging. And
I mean, at least he pulled it down and took off.
Got a yard after all that, 2nd and 9.
Running game could help with that pass protection.
Cameron Harris is the back. So Williams is going straight back. Now he flips it in the flat, and this is Harris. He's a physical back, running over Ventrell Miller. Only gained a few yards, but that excites the Canes crowd.
Well, it not only excites the Canes crowd, you know, he gets a couple of yards. That's right in front of the alumni, and you see what Miller took that hit. He's going to have to check out. But Chris, that's a play that can ignite the team, not just the crowd, because of this effort. You're struggling right now just to compete and battle, and one of your backs goes right through a linebacker. That can affect the rest of the team and fire them up.
You need 7. Not yet converted on 3rd down. 0 for 3.
Matchup at the bottom of the tight end, Jordan against the All-American corner, C.J. Henderson.
Williams, immediate pressure, gets it out, throws a dart. He was looking for Jordan, incomplete. And Henderson, who's one of the best corners in the business, broke it up 4th down.
Yeah, but he had just enough separation with his size. I love the matchup. I mean, he's obviously athletic and gifted, but he put it where his big tight end would have a chance to use his body and kind of shield the corner away and make a play. He gets inside right there. Ball's there. He's got to make that catch, and it's a 1st down.
He said it's a field goal attempt. Maxa made good earlier from 36. This is from 42. And he knocks it right through again. So Miami, off their second takeaway, converts it to a field goal and cuts the lead to 1. Baxa, with his second successful field goal, kicks it away short. And this is going to be very returnable. Freddie Swain, the slot receiver, good job following his blocker. And that's a nice return out across the 30-yard line. Gators play action on first down. Franks wants a downfield shot, but now he's chased and has to throw it underneath. It's Perine with the outlet. They're fortunate to make that play and dodge the sack. Urban Hall in the safety blitz got close.
Yeah, and at the last minute there, Quarterman decided to be able to get pressure. He gives up on Perine, says, I'm going to get in there and try to put pressure. By leaving Perine, he left a check down. And now Franks had somewhere to go with the ball, so instead of negative yards and taking the sack, he ends up picking up some positive yards.
Franks, 5 of 6, 85 yards, a 66-yard touchdown to Tony is the highlight. Perine dodges traffic in the backfield and falls for a couple. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Now, this Miami defense tonight is doing everything that they can. It's almost like they're on the ropes, right? They're battling, and those 2 turnovers, one deep in their own territory, has really given Miami some life and some belief. This is a program that's been through a lot in the last 12 months. A new head coach, you know, guys that have come in, guys that have left, and they need some positive things to happen early in this game to really buy in and believe that they can win this game. And this defense is giving them hope.
Tony motions in on 3rd and 3. Franks gets blitzed again, and a high pass knocked out of the hands. Bandy breaks up the pass, and the Canes defense continues to gain confidence and won't force a punt.
And this is, again, this is where the quarterback, Franks, has got to do a better job of recognizing man versus zone. He thinks it's man, and the Canes are sitting there in zone, and by doing that, Bandy right here is just sitting here and waiting for the back to come out. So he's not manned up with anybody. He's sensing that they're going to go to Perine, so he times it up and makes a big hit. Very surprised that Franks would leave his back just out there, especially with the ball up high like that, with a dominant corner like Bandy waiting on him.
Tommy Townsend took off for a fake from the guy whose brother Johnny holds a bunch of Florida records. That's the kick away. And back cutting for a fair catch is Thomas at the 10-yard line. So the Canes get the football back once again in poor field position. Nice 50-yard boot by Townsend. Interesting career arc for Diaz. He talked Chuck Amato into giving the guy a job who had never played college football at NC State. Eventually goes to Mississippi State. Mullen hired him and made him, in Dan's words, and hired him again in 2015. He was the son of Manny Diaz, who was a very popular mayor in Miami for 9 years.
Can you handpick a better guy to lead your program to try to get them back than having Manny Diaz Sr.'s son?
Thinks
He
outside
understands
the box.
it.
He really does.
He does. Intelligent guy.
Canes backed up again, running yet another play inside their own 10. Dallas from the I formation, looking for room and able to get about 3. Maria?
Well, Chris, while Manny's father is looking on, Manny Diaz has his eyes on his defense, and he was just ripping them down here on the sideline, saying basically, if we tackle, we win the game. That's it. Trying to continue to fire up that D, guys.
You know, Maria, it's interesting. When he became the head coach, I asked him, you're going to be calling the defense? And he said, no, I'm going to go with Blake Baker, who I hired as a defensive coordinator. So it's new for him. He's trying to manage the game, but he can't help himself in a game like this, of course, trying to fire that defense up.
Williams from the pocket delivers a short throw, and catch is made by Osborne, is right near the marker. I don't think he expected, in fact, I know he didn't expect tackling to be this kind of a problem in game 1. He knew his defense was going to be challenged, Kirk. He thought they could tackle.
Right. But again, Chris, it's part of game 1 for every coach in America. Did you do enough? Did you do too much? And in today's game, with the concerns with injuries and things of that nature, most coaches will thud. There are very few that are actually really go after it and tackle. And so you get into week 1 and you start to see some poor tackling.
Quick throw to the edge. Thomas gets a block and shows some acceleration. He is very dangerous in the open field. The man who made 35 catches in his junior year.
If Miami Hurricanes are watching this game, they've been wondering, where has Thomas been tonight? He's their version of what Tony brings to the other side, to the Gators. Great block, by the way, by KJ Osborne, the leader in that room of the wide receivers. How about how he slows down, kind of a stutter step, the old Walter Payton kind of lazy leg, and goes right by some very talented Gator defensive players to pick up that first down.
Dallas hit hard. Maria's getting a vantage point field level. The hits are there on night with tackling, execution not crisp, but the hitting is there.
Oh yeah, she's getting a great view of it down there. And Jeff Thomas finally starting to get involved. He's actually going to come out of the game. Looks like he might be limping a little bit, but Tate Martell now checks into the game, the quarterback who's been switched over to receiver. But it's great to see Thomas, who entered the transfer portal, almost left to go to Illinois, came back after Manny Diaz was hired.
Yeah, it's a story that we'll get into tonight. They think that Martell, who volunteered for this position change after getting beat out, can really help him. And you get a mismatch in the slot. Williams is looking the other direction, and now surveys, has space to run, and slides down in Florida territory. He begins the slide short of the marker, and that's where they'll spot him. It'll be 3rd and a yard at the 47.
I just love watching young freshman quarterbacks in this kind of setting just grow up right in front of you. Sits in the pocket, nobody open downfield, and this is what Miami coaches have been trying to tell us. Everybody talks about him where he doesn't have athletic ability or speed. He does have enough to get out of trouble. He gives them that 3rd down and 1, and they pick up the first down. Nice scramble.
Yeah, they quick snap it on the sneak, and they do move the chains. And you're seeing Williams, although he has been knocked down 3 times, beginning to settle in just a little bit.
The one thing that stands out to me is just poise. He sits there. He's not intimidated. He's not letting the game move too fast. He looks very well prepared. He's been dealing with a lot tonight with that young offensive line and with a very complex Gator defense, but he's not panicking at all in that pocket.
Williams backpedaling, flushed again, holds the ball too long, and Ventrell Miller makes him pay. Knocked down back at the Miami 45.
Well, we talk about his poise and sitting in the pocket. That time just waiting a little bit too long. Linebacker blitzes up the middle. They brought the star, the nickel as well. Offensive line not able to take care of him that time, and instead of throwing it away and recognizing the pressure, he ends up taking a big sack.
Yeah, you take the sack, you give up the yardage, and you also spend your last timeout. So an inexperienced play, you can expect to see that. Backed up 45, minute 14, and no more timeouts.
Oh, I love the look of Ventrell Miller, who keeps coming in and out. 51, the freshman, and he could become a dominant linebacker in the SEC for the Gators.
Gators rush forward to screen. Dallas goes up and makes a one-handed catch, and now takes off. DJ Dallas busting into the clear and knocked out at the 4-15. An explosive play that puts the Canes in position to go to halftime up.
Well, great blocking downfield. Dan Enos known for his screenplay. Watch the center, 65, get out in front and pick up that block right there to allow Dallas, who didn't necessarily have a lot of momentum because he had to go back and make that one-handed catch, but the block right there on Bernie by the center, getting out in front, and then you can see what Dallas can do with his speed and his leg strength to be able to pull out of some of those arm tackles.
They missed 3 tackles on the play. So inside of a minute to go. Tight end Brevin Jordan lined up at the fullback position in front of Cameron Harris. They're trying to adjust the game clock, give Miami 5 additional seconds to 103. This has been a 75-yard march, 11 plays, almost 6 minutes. Try to take the lead after a first half where it feels like they've been outplayed. Dallas is the back. Williams tried to draw the Gators offside.
Here's the target, Jordan, the tight end.
Gators bring the pressure. Williams has time. Ball batted at the line and then caught. And Jordan bounces into the end zone for a go-ahead touchdown. And the freshman starter shushes the Gator crowd. Got a little lucky there, let's be honest.
Well, I thought he might go to Jordan because they hid him in line, as opposed to he's been flexed out like a receiver, detached most of the night. This time they moved him in to try to create a matchup against the linebacker. The linebacker ended up blitzing, and he gets matched up against an undersized safety, and Miami will take that matchup all night, and he gets the ball out quickly to give Jordan a chance. What
a drive, Kirk, for the Hurricanes. 90 yards, 12 plays, and 6:08. There's the touchdown score for the Hurricanes. The tight end, Brevin Jordan, on the carom, and the Canes mistake prone in the first half, but they have a 6-point lead. Let's hear from Dan Mullen with Maria.
All right, Coach, you had the momentum early. What changed during the course of this first
drop on the ball? They didn't even create a turnover. We just threw it to them twice, once in the red zone. Those are things you can't do. And then way too many missed tackles on defense. Hey, guys just got to tackle, wrap up better.
What do you credit some of these mental miscues to?
We just got to play sharper. You know what I mean? They're just little things of putting the ball on the ground, little mental mistakes. We just got to be a little bit cleaner. I think we're playing pretty well at times, and we're not real clean at other times right now. We got to play a little harder and just execute a little bit cleaner.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Mullen trying to chuckle through the mistakes, but in other words, it's an opening game, folks. Mistakes on both sides, but a charged-up environment, and it's Miami. Touchdown underdogs up by 6. Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Reese, Dez, and David is coming up after these messages. We are set for the second half. The Camping World Kickoff 2019, Game 1 of Season 150. Presented on ESPN by Hampton by Hilton. Ibis sitting on the Gator. And Miami with a 90-yard drive to take the lead before halftime. They're the team that's the underdogs. They're the team that didn't feel a whole lot of respect from the nation or the other side coming in, and they've got the lead despite a lot of mistakes.
Well, we saw a lot of momentum swings. I mean, Florida, in their first series, 3 and out, all of a sudden, deep in their own territory, a fake punt that seemed to ignite them and really get them going. But give Miami's defense a ton of credit, because the main reason Miami is in this game is their defense had their backs against the wall, came up with play after play, and especially those turnovers to get the ball back to the young freshman quarterback.
Yeah, the 2 fumbles by the Gators really not even knock loose. They just dropped the ball on the ground. Maria?
Yeah, Chris, and the message for Manny Diaz and his team was all about momentum. It's about starting fast coming out of the locker room and finishing strong as this game comes to a close. But really the message he wanted to deliver to his team is playing to their potential. He said, imagine if we didn't have any penalties or we made all the tackles that we were supposed to, that we would be up even more in this matchup. And no one expected us to be here, but we are here right now. So just playing cleaner football could get us the win in this one.
And that defense will be on the field momentarily. Tackling the problem early. And Florida's offense mistake prone. Will take over after the touchdown. Frank 7 for 9, 66 yards in the short pass, long run to Tony. Other than that play, really not much. They have not been able to press the ball downfield and create the shock play.
No, you know, last year Florida was a very balanced team throughout the year. 213 on the ground, 213 through the air. They were able to run the ball better late when Felipe Franks started to run the ball himself. But tonight they're not able to get that running game going. Only 40 yards running or rushing in the first half, and I think it's affected the rhythm to what they're trying to do in their passing game.
Perine to the left of Franks on 2nd and 10. Gaines with a blitz. It's picked up, and Franks loops will throw on the sideline. Easy pitch and catch for a first down.
Well, they brought a corner blitz here. Al Blades from the boundary, and once he ends up blitzing, it gives Florida a very soft cushion. And good job by Franks. They weren't able to pick that up. He's going to take a hit, but see, once the blitz is there, there's nobody in the flat. You've got a safety against your best receiver, Van Jefferson. And that was an easy pitch and catch that time once he recognized that corner blitz from the boundary by Felipe Franks to Van.
Finally, Jefferson gets involved. First catch, 14 yards. He's now to the far right of the formation. It's a first down run to Perine. Perine in space. And finally wrestled down at midfield by Amari Carter, but it's another first down.
And that's a little bit more what you'd want to see if you're Florida. Better job of being able to sustain some blocks and giving Perine a little bit of wiggle room there to allow him to use his vision. You start running the football, you can create some tempo, you can start to get Felipe Franks throwing more on his terms, and then you can be more assertive and aggressive as a play caller for Dan Mullen.
Mullen only 26 snaps for his offense in the first half. He handed off to Dameon Pierce. Freaky athlete has contributed mostly on special teams. He figures to get his share of carries this year.
They're going back to that 4 wide receiver look. Well, maybe they're gonna abort it, but they've been using that a lot, almost forcing the hand of Miami to make up their mind if they're going to spread out with those receivers or leave them alone one-on-one. Now they go to a different formation, same personnel group.
2nd and 8, and Pierce deep in the backfield, fighting forward. Passion on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Running downhill these first 2 plays with positive the ball in positive territory. Dan Mullen saying, let's not get cute with this. Let's get the big back end and run downhill and just kind of wear on the Miami defense, challenge them. But now they're in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 range.
Franks zips it, and it's broken up. Coming in to get a hand on that play was Gilbert Frierson. Patchen pressured him, and it's 4th down.
They've been rotating Finley and Frierson. Frierson's probably better in coverage, the former corner, so they're not afraid to leave him out there on his own. Maybe got away with that right hand pulling on the receiver that time, Swain, but makes a good play to be able to swat it away.
Offense on the field. Gators have been successful on 4th down a couple of times tonight. Now on 4th and 5, another big momentum play. Perine is in the slot. 5 receiver look. Franks has a lot of time trying to direct traffic downfield, and he delivers a strike to Grimes, and they'll move the sticks.
Well, the Miami coaching staff were going crazy because it looked like the right tackle jumped. Watch the right tackle. Jumps before the ball. They did not make the call. Miami thought it'd be a dead ball, and instead there's no pass rush. Franks has time. The officials miss one there, and Florida capitalizes.
That is a rough miss on a crucial play. Now from the pocket, Franks across the middle, has a man wide open, and the catch is made by Kyle Pitts, the tight end, and the non-call proving huge as the Gators will have a 1st and goal.
When they get on that left hash, Miami right now showing a tendency of bringing the corner from the boundary, and it's creating some one-on-one matchups back into the boundary that are more favorable for Florida with their receivers against safeties and a tight end against the safety.
Jefferson to the left. The 6'5" Grimes is a red zone target. He's on the right. Franks looking that way, trying to buy time, and now just fires it out of the end zone. He was chased down there by Gervin Hall in the safety blitz.
As a run-pass option, he's eyeing the safety to try to determine if he's committing to the run. Then he'll pull it and throw it. He kind of was in between. I think he may have gotten fooled on that play, and he didn't have the window to be able to throw it, so he had nothing to do but just to try to buy some time and then throw it away.
Second and goal. In the flats, Perine going to make a man miss, but he can't. Wrestled down by Shaq Quarterman. That's a big old linebacker making a tackle on a shifty back.
And I think Quarterman's one of the top linebackers in the country. He's been around for 4 years. Really the alpha of this defense. Matched up in space against Perine. This is a tough ask for a big, physical middle linebacker, about 240 pounds, but he's able to kind of eliminate that space and then make the play. Good job. Just great fundamentals that time by Shaq Quarterman.
Gators' 2nd red zone trip. Did not score a touchdown the first time. 3rd and goal. Play clock winding down. Gotta hurry. 2-1. But they get it off. Franks. Doesn't matter. He's going to be swarmed right at the line of scrimmage, and Miami's defense rises up when their backs are against the goal line.
Interesting call there on 3rd down. They've been going for it so often tonight on 4th down. It almost felt like a play call where he was trying to pick up just a few yards to get a little closer. But I think
puzzling, huh?
Yeah, very puzzling. He looked over to get confirmation from Dan Mullen to find out if this is the play we want to go with, but that play really never much of a chance.
Evan McPherson led all freshmen in field goal percentage last year. Made 15 and narrowly missed 2. This from 27 yards to cut the Hurricanes lead to 3. So Miami players back out, wary of a Dan Mullen fake down there, not too sure. But the sophomore knocks it through, and Florida within 3 now, midway 3rd quarter. John Vilma, the ex-Keene linebacker. Clinton Portis, the running back behind him in green there. Just huge stars on both sides. Talked about season 150, and we want to celebrate the contribution to Florida football that Mr. Two Bits made. George Edmondson began this tradition as a young fan when the Gator crowd was apathetic, and he just carried it on for like half a century. 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. All for the Gators, stand up and holler. And we lost him. He passed away in July, so we want to recognize his meaning to the Gator Nation in the first game since his passing.
My first year on the show was 1996, and of course it was a memorable year for the Gators. I remember seeing that for the first time in person that year, and to see the reaction from the crowd, it was very, very special.
It was a good run. Age 97 when he passed away. So now Miami back to work, still in front thanks to that defensive red zone stand, and still trying to find a way to get a running game going. Alice, 43 yards rushing on 7 carries, really been the only back that's had any headway.
That and avoiding mistakes, miscues, 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 15, trying to get back to being on schedule.
And under pressure again, Williams trying to escape, and he'll just throw it into the bench.
Great job.
He's learning fast on the job under fire tonight.
Great job. The defense got in a hurry, rotating bodies, and time it looked like it may have been Moon 7 that got around the edge.
Sean Davis going to chase him down.
Yeah, brought a little more pressure, but he bought just enough time to be able to stay alive and get that ball to the outside. That right tackle, John Campbell, continues to have his hands full against the Gators' edge rusher.
Williams sacked 5 times and pressured about a dozen more. Martell, again, the ex-quarterback, now playing receiver to the left of the formation on 3rd and 21. Alice in the slot. Williams looked that way, backpedaling again. And young fella just get down and throw it away. He takes another hit. That was James Houston. Boy, the Gators just keep rotating front 7 players in there.
Yeah, they're staying fresh because they have some depth. That, you know, a lot of guys are hybrid guys. They can move and play different positions. 3rd and 23. You got to remember that. And even though he's able to keep this play alive initially, you know, either get rid of the ball or get down and throw it away, but he cannot continue to scramble around. And very easily, that helmet gets put on that football. It's on the ground, and the Gators have great field position.
Only previous experience against Savannah State. Gators are a little saltier than Savannah State. Headley, the Aussie, finally does a typical Aussie punt. He rolls out, and it's a good boot, but Swain, great start, knocked down, and there's another flag down. Things getting a little sloppy here late in the 3rd quarter.
There are 2 fouls on the return team. Holding return team number 12. That penalty's declined. Illegal block in the back on the return team number 10. That penalty enforced 10 yards. 1st down.
See if they try to spread this Canes defense out and try to win some one-on-one battles, something that's been very challenging for them against a Canes secondary that's breaking in 3 new starters.
That's a great point. They thought they could make plays downfield. That was the concern for Diaz and the defense, giving them up. Franks on 1st down. Step up and go to one of those intermediate throws. And the catch is made by Tyree Cleveland, senior receiver.
Chris, collectively, you look at Van Jefferson and Cleveland and Grimes and Hammond and Swain and Tony. You throw Kyle Pitts in, the tight end. I mean, they've got a lot of playmakers that they'd love to try to get the ball to, but whether it's been a read that didn't work out for Franks or pressure from the offensive line not holding up, they've just not been able to get in sync with a lot of those playmakers.
And the surprise is that Jefferson just the 1 catch. Tony had the 1 catch. It was the big touchdown. Hammond 2 receptions. Franks into his left, but he's not as comfortable, and the throw is inaccurate to Kyle Pitts.
The pass rush there favors his right, Chris, to flush him left. They don't want to give him that option to come out and scramble to his right. Film study of an entire year last year, especially late in the year, showed that Franks loves to move when he creates to his right. And having an entire offseason to study him, they're intentionally bringing that pressure from the right, kicking him left where they don't think he's as accurate as he is when he rolls to his right.
2nd and 10. Canes rush 4. Franks flush quickly from the pocket. He gave up on the pocket quickly, tried to get it to Perine. Inaccurate throw. It'll be 3rd and long.
See, this is an area where I think he's got to be able to study film and continue to work and get comfortable when pressure. He sees a flash on the left side of the tackle. There's no reason to get out of the pocket. There's no reason not to let the play develop and work through his progressions. It shows you that when he sees a different color jersey flash, his first reaction is to look down and feel that pass rush and want to get out. And when you do that, it hurts the offense and the ability to execute.
On 3rd down, a throw across the field to Hammond, and the slot receiver battles hard, shoved down on the sideline short of the marker by Gerbenholm. It'll be 4th down.
I go back to that 2nd down where the Canes are able to come up with a stop on 3rd down, not having a chance to get any yards and giving up on that play a little bit prematurely. Put him in a better position on 3rd down.
You like the line to make, Cam?
I love the line. I love that, Cam. I hope it's still standing after that play, but I loved it up to that point.
It's the bigger, cooler cousin of the pylon Cam.
Yeah.
Thomas is the punt returner for the Canes at the 10-yard line. And Townsend's had a good night. And this is a boomer. And Thomas muffs it, and the Gators recover. A game-changing special teams gaffe by the veteran receiver and Van Jefferson. The Gators veteran receiver flies down and pounces on it.
Wow, wow, wow. The Gators now take advantage of a miscue. Instead, it's been the Canes taking advantage. This time, the Canes have the miscue. And how about the receivers of Florida? They're on all the special teams. These guys are seniors. They want to be involved. You see Cleveland is right there. This time, Van Jefferson right on the spot. And the Gators have great field position at the 11-yard line. And once again, that Canes defense put in an unenviable position.
Boy, Thomas, the last guy I'd expect to make that mistake. One of the steady playmakers on this team. And yeah, you're right. The Canes defense tested once again. Perine lined up very deep. They fake it to him. Franks on the edge was looking back to his left and just flips it. Incomplete, a little too close to the sideline for comfort there.
Good to throw it away, but throw it once you're outside of the tackle box. Throw it into the stands. Don't make it so close. That's terrifying.
Scott Patchen was giving chase.
And Bandy, boy, he did a good job of making the read. He's been playing well all night. Realized there's nobody on his side, so he immediately bailed, got his head on his swivel, and took away the receiver that was coming into his direction.
Third red zone trip, Kirk, for the Gator offense. They've kicked a couple of field goals down here, not found the end zone yet from the red zone. Jefferson split to the left. Perine immediately hit in the backfield, but he escaped, squirts forward for a gain to about the 7. And it'll be 3rd and goal.
Pretty good job of leg drive. Again, just a balanced back, can do everything in this Florida offense. That time he showed that leg strength and being able to avoid contact in the backfield.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Correction, they can make a first down at the 1,
yeah.
So it's 3rd and 6. One of 9 on 3rd down. Franks across the middle. Perine catches it and scores. The Gators go back in front as they cash in the turnover.
Well, watch the linebacker who gets caught up. This is a well-designed play right here. Keep an eye on him because the tight end Pitts gets in his way just enough to allow Perine to get back underneath him. That put Pinckney in a tough spot because the tight end goes in front of him, loses his vision, and before he can realize what has happened, Perine cuts underneath him to be wide open, and Franks finds him for the touchdown.
In a football game of mistakes and momentum shifts, it's the Gators taking 11 yards in 3 plays after the Thomas muff to go back on front. And McPherson makes it a 4-point margin with 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter here in Orlando. Gators jumping around on their sidelines. It was the punt coverage team that made the play. Van Jefferson charging down there. Muffed by Jeff Thomas, setting up Florida at the 11. And Perine takes it in on the pass reception as the Gators reclaim the lead. Just a series of challenges for Jarren Williams, and now he's going to have to try to bring his team from behind. Williams zips it across the middle, and the catch is made near the first down marker. Is Thomas trying to atone for that mistake? You know, he's desperate to do something positive now.
Yeah, he gets a chance to bounce right back, and all we heard from Manny Diaz throughout the entire camp was resiliency. How are they going to respond? Are they going to have toughness, mental toughness? Are they going to have maturity to handle when they get hit in the mouth? Last year, that was an issue for them. They didn't necessarily handle that offensively very well. And tonight, they're handling it with a redshirt freshman quarterback.
It was a cautious quarter, though. The Canes gained just 8 yards. 15 minutes to go. It's Florida up by 4. Back after these messages. And it's a spotlight matchup, Kirk. The edge pass rushers for Florida against the freshman tackles of Miami.
Yeah, Grenard and this defense have been able to get by them often and even causing some issues. 6 sacks on the night, being able to get off the offensive lineman and get into the face of this young quarterback, Jarren Williams. And Miami has a couple first downs going to start this drive, trying to slow down that Gator defense.
And Dallas is hit in the backfield. More penetration. Barging into the backfield was Zuniga, not just a pass rusher.
No, I think he's a complete player, and he's had a big night. We just showed you a video package with the offensive tackles having a rough night, mainly dealing with the pass rush. But there's another example of Zuniga being able to use that quickness to get inside again of John Campbell, the right tackle.
There's a flag on the field.
Well, they were
after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 55. The 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Kyrie Campbell. That is a mental mistake. And look at the expression on Mullen's face.
Yeah, well, he came over top of where the ball carrier Campbell, or where Jarren Williams was, and there were about 4 Gators there, and Campbell was the one that was right in front of an official, was chirping. And the officials made it clear. We were on the field before the game. I said, hey, you guys expecting it to be pretty intense tonight? They said, we've already warned both teams in the locker room. There'll be no warnings on the field. The next thing, it'll just be a penalty if they're out here doing that type of thing. There's an example.
DJ Dallas in the backfield. Wildcat look. And he takes off up the middle, and Dallas, the running back, still going. Look at the strength. DJ Dallas to the secondary, down the sidelines, and to the end zone. Miami reclaims the lead. 50 yards. A wrinkle, and it pays off in a big way.
Yeah, a wrinkle that worked a little earlier for a nice game, but atrocious tackling by the Gators secondary. C.J. Henderson off to the left. Watch this effort to come in here and get involved. Miss, Olay, safety, a poor effort. Marco Wilson, a poor effort. The speed of Dallas into the end zone, but poor, very poor tackling by that Florida Gators secondary. Unwillingness to make a play.
Strong words, and I agree with you. Baxa for the extra point. It's the 4th lead change of the game, and early 4th quarter, the underdogs from Coral Gables are in front.
There's Henderson right there, perfect position. He just doesn't want it.
Electric play. He's got the touchdown ring. He's DJ Dallas after Miami reclaims the lead on his touchdown burst out of the Wildcat formation. Remember, unlike the NFL, you get those 4 preseason games. This is college football. You go from the practices to the scrimmage. You get these opening games, especially one that's the earliest ever. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have missed tackles. You've had a lot of them on both sides, but boy, it has been exciting. Now the Gators, one more time, will have to respond. And Manny Diaz told his team, plays just like that would help decide this game. They take it to Perine. Franks looking for a downfield shot. Hammond got it. Josh Hammond dragged down inside the 20. Finally, the Gators hit a deep ball.
They get the inside fade, one-on-one matchup. It's a good matchup here. He's right on the inside here, moves to the end and goes by him. He's got room to work because of how far they spread him out. and he goes right by Frierson, who's had a big night tonight as a nickelback, but he gets beat right at the line of scrimmage. Hammond showing you some speed, known as a great route runner, but gets by him. And how about the throw by Franks on that one?
65-yard gain. Now Perine in the flat. And he'll be knocked down. That's what Diaz was afraid of. He thought maybe it'd be Jefferson on the edge, but Josh Hammond, the senior, reliable slot receiver, just blasting down the field.
You know, an area that Florida talked with us. Dan Mullen said, you know, red zone for us was an issue at times. They were 91st in the country at scoring touchdowns. Once they get inside the red zone, they couldn't finish them off. 58%. It's a big drive here for them. They need a touchdown and not field goal to tie it.
And they flip it in the flat against the tight end Pitts. And he knifes through and will dive down. First and goal, Florida. Didn't look like much at the start, but he was patient.
How about the block by Tyree Cleveland? He just locked down the Miami defender that was trying to get to the ball. Bandy, who's a physical corner, he just locks him down. I got this guy, cuts in behind me, and he almost was able to kind of clear the path to the end zone.
It's a lean tight end showing great patience in space. 3 receivers to the left. Franks keeping it. Barrels in. Touchdown. Florida back on top. 80-yard drive in 4 plays. The electric strike to Houston sets up the short touchdown run.
And this is the part of his game that last year we started to see. They had to account for him running the ball. 6'6", 245 pounds. He can get downhill in a hurry. He's like a big tight end or a fullback when he runs the ball inside the 5-yard line.
You know, you pointed out last 6 games of last year, 6 rushing touchdowns. He did it against South Carolina when he came back after getting benched. Did it to Michigan in the bowl game. So momentum shifts back and forth in Orlando. It's Miami's turn to have to answer down 4, 8:18 to play. Back in front 5. Lead changes tonight. Whole bunch of mistakes by both teams.
So stop playing with me. I do this.
Okay. Felipe has had a lot of fun talking to the cameras, his fans, opposing fans. That was a good drive for him. The throw to Hammond and the touchdown run. But he's a veteran now.
Yeah.
Kickoff coverage team having a little fun. Urban Meyer would approve of that as he watches Fox. This is going to be returnable. Thomas, who earlier had the muff punt, trying to make an electric play to tone for it. And he gets the edge. It's a nice return. It's out across the 35-yard line. So with 8:11 to go, Jaron Williams back to work, and we fake it to Dallas. And now it's Williams who's looking to take a downfield shot. Instead throws it across the middle. And the catch is made by K.J. Osborne to midfield.
Yeah, and they think K.J. Osborne transfers over from Buffalo, kind of brings a mature attitude in. This thing is wide open and does a good job of just letting it develop, not being a little bit premature, a little early, want to hurry because of the pressure from that defensive line. Just let Osborne run his route, let him right into that opening, and picks up big yards.
Every practice you go to, he's the last one out in the field, working on fundamentals, trying to improve his skills. Martell in the game now, split to the left on first down. And he handed off inside, immediate penetration. That was big Kyrie Campbell who wrecked the play.
They're getting penetration. I mean, almost every single time when Miami runs into the middle with their backs, the defensive line is having their way with him. Watch his quickness over on the right side. He just goes right by Campbell, gets into the backfield, and
Campbell's holding his hand after the play.
Yeah.
2nd and 11. Dallas is the back. But Williams is going straight back, steps up, still surveys the field, has a man wide open. And that's Brevin Jordan, the tight end. How do you lose him? First down near the 30.
He was on a crossing route. Linebackers, they were in a good spot, but they lost him because he extended the play. Jaron Williams bought some time. Nobody's back there. C.J. Henderson crossed, who's a corner on that side, crossed the middle of the field with a wide receiver. So once he got by the linebacker, he got behind the Gator defense. And again, nice job of improvising by Jaron Williams and buying that just enough time there to find his favorite target, Brevin Jordan, who's having a big night tonight.
It's Martell back in the game at quarterback. Williams is out to the right. This always has like trick play potential to it, but it's Martell who's going to take off and try to show his quickness to the edge, and the Gators are all over it. All over it. He's knocked out of bounds by Miller for a loss. It'll be third down.
Yeah, you see 18 back there. It's a race.
You know,
they want to. If you're going to throw and trick us, fine. Throw it and see if you can complete it. But as soon as he initially goes to his left or to his right, it's a race to the corner. Who can get there faster? And the Gator defense clearly dialed in and ready for 18 at quarterback.
Trying to get him involved in different ways, but they haven't come up with a trick play that you could obviously call when you got a couple of quarterbacks in the game.
Blitzing.
And 11.
See him pointing. He's blitzing at that linebacker 33, David Reese, who's showing blitz.
And he's coming. And immediately flush out. Williams trying to make a play on the run. Flips it into the green grass. Gators won an intentional grounding penalty.
It did not get to the line of scrimmage.
And we'll huddle up and look at it. Jawan Taylor was in hot pursuit of the quarterback. Dallas was in the area, but the ball, as you said, did not get near the line.
Quarterback was outside the pocket. Receiver was in the area.
Yeah, he was loosely in the area.
Okay.
But he was just trying to avoid a sack, and he did a good job. You cannot take a sack there.
Well, is he in the area, or was he outside of the tackle box?
Kind of in the zip code.
I don't know.
3rd and 11. Gamble, you see it back in the game after they checked his hand out. Very marginal field goal range at the moment are the Canes. Williams fires short, catch made. Osborne breaks a tackle. Yet another missed tackle by the Florida defense, and Osborne has set them up just short of the marker. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, closing in on 5 minutes. Manny Diaz has got to go for this. I'm not going to have probably a better situation in 4th and short. Another missed tackle, but in defense here of Wilson, this is a tough guy to tackle. Ooh, knee is down. They're definitely going to take a look at that.
Never put the ball back at the 30.
That's 7 or 8 yards.
And now, after the replay review, the ball is spotted back at the 30, so it's a 4th down and 9.
Got to go, Chris. You're thinking about 4:48 to go, 2 timeouts. You may not get the ball back.
3 receivers to the left.
And they haven't moved him. Right there. Looks like they have 2 defenders on him.
One of the defining plays of the game, and the young quarterback pressured, flag down, quarterback down, and the Gators make a stand. The 7th sack tonight. Marlon Dunlap got there, and the timeout paid off.
Sure did. They just pinned their ears and came after him.
Offense number 60. That penalty's declined. Ball goes over on downs.
Look at the edge pressure. And forced him to step up. Zuniga is on the left. Watch him go around the true freshman Nelson. Forces him up, and then that's when the inside of the Florida defense is able to kind of clean it up. Looks like Dunlap's in there. And that play really didn't have a chance. As soon as he hit his last step in the drop, there was already pressure.
I know we both felt that whichever offensive line would be overwhelmed less frequently tonight, that would be the edge. And Miami's has had all kinds of problems. It was kind of expected coming in. How much of it is on Williams holding the ball a long time? And now the Gators 4.5 to bleed out, up by 4, and Franks is thinking about throwing on 1st down, and it's a pick. A disastrous play. Romeo Finley gets the football back, and the Canes are suddenly in business at the 25. Can you believe it? A flag came out after the play, but what in the world?
Well, there are 2 things. What in the world are they throwing the ball for? And then what? Steve Spurrier, he didn't know what he just saw. Wow. I can't believe they threw the ball, and then you cannot believe he threw that to 3 white jerseys there. And throws it right into traffic, right into the arms of waiting Finley.
I mean, that is inconceivable.
After the interception, unsportsmanlike conduct, Miami number 7. A 15-yard penalty being forced from the dead ball spot. 1st down.
That's a mental mistake by Al Blades. It's going to cost him some field position. But back to Franks, a guy who didn't throw a pick in the last 4 games after he came back from being benched, has thrown a couple tonight. One on a carom, but that was inconceivable.
And I want to go back to Al Blades, because you can't let your emotions like this get the best of you And I know it's a rivalry game, and I know it's week 0, but I hope every coach and player that are watching this game are watching and learning about controlling your emotions and showing up and playing with some discipline. This has been ridiculous.
Has that call justified?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the way the game's been going.
Flag down again, and the ball is loose on the ground, and the Gators have it. K.J. Osborne came around, lost the football. Well, hold on, because there's still a scrum. Did Miami get it back? They did. How did Florida not recover? It looks like Josh Campbell, offensive lineman, somehow battled back in there.
Yeah, I think John Campbell got it, but Jeremiah Moon, 7, I thought it was right in his hands. Bernard punches it out. Ball's on the ground. You got a bunch of Gator jerseys. There's Moon. He bounced on it, and it came out because Campbell ended up getting it. I thought 7 in blue had the ball, but he didn't.
Had it right in his hands. A chance to perhaps.
Personal foul, chop block, offense number 65 and number 74. That 15-yard penalty be enforced from the previous spot. First down.
So 30 yards in penalties after the interception returned by Finley had Miami set up at the 25-yard line. And they have moved back into their own territory. Keep an eye on the center and guard on the chop block.
One goes high, one goes low. Umpire sees it, makes the right call. Got an offensive line that struggled all night in pass protection. A Gator defense that's done a great job of getting into the backfield, and now you got 1st and 20.
Play action, Williams under pressure again, flips it to Dallas, and this time the Gators don't miss the tackle. He is corralled by Jawan Taylor. You know, 4 takeaways tonight. We've seen the new turnover chain out a bunch, but just like last year, Kirk, when they hit their target for takeaways, very few points off turnovers. That was the problem a year ago. They got a total of 3 points. That's right, counting off the 4 takeaways tonight.
That's right. How about the call there by Todd Grantham, going more zone instead of pressure and blitzing and playing man? Right call because of the screen. Everybody had their eyes on the ball. Nice play by the middle linebacker, David Reese.
2nd and 26.
Now they're coming.
Pressure again. Williams escaping and hit from behind. Ball is loose. Another scrum on the ground. Picked up. Scooped up by Dallas, who shows his hands, and he actually avoided a disaster and makes something out of the play. Trey Dean knocked it loose. It'll be 3rd and a mile.
Once he got outside, Chris, he does a good job of breaking contain. He's got to be able to make up his mind and just throw the ball away. Get outside, you see a guy coming, throw it away. He's outside of the tackle box, throw it into the 30th row, and you're good. You can live for the next down. Instead of this is scary. This is scary, obviously, with the balls on the ground.
So they've got, you'd think, a couple of plays here. The clock is winding down. This is going to be a make-or-break possession for Miami. They cannot count on getting the football back. So got to find a way to get 27 yards in 2 plays.
Yeah, in 2 plays. See, you got to basically get, you're looking for that 12 to 15-yard gain here. And if it springs bigger, then great. But you're not throwing a 30-yard pass, in my opinion. You're trying to pick up 15. Try to pick up 15 yards here, give yourself a chance on 4th down. Crossing route, something dig across the middle at 15.
Pressure again. Sacked again. Relentless Gator pass rush. Zuniga got him again. It has been a monster mismatch up front.
Well, and I think he's gotten to a point where he knows the rhythm of the snap count. Watch how he gets off the ball. He beats the left tackle off the ball. Left tackle Nelson is still sitting in his stance. Zuniga goes by him. And again, it's just a reoccurring thing that we've seen tonight with the quickness of the Gators and the inexperience of the Canes offensive line. Just not, I mean,
remember, Zion Nelson played high school football a year ago. He didn't see too many guys like Zuniga.
No.
4th and 34. Miami needs a miracle. Gators rush 4. Williams steps up and delivers, and Thomas is wrestled to the ground. Pass interference at the 35-yard line. Can you believe it? Wilson just wrestled him down. It'll be an automatic 1st down. My goodness.
underthrown ball. Thomas trying to adjust back. The last thing you can do, these are great corners at Florida. The last thing you can do
Pass interference.
is not
Defense number 31.
have pass interference called on you.
15-yard penalty.
Underthrown ball. I don't know if he did it
First down.
intentionally, but how many times in college football do we see an underthrown ball where the corner gets caught up because he doesn't find the ball and runs into the wide receiver?
On a 4th and 34, the one penalty you cannot do.
No. And if he
It's pass
catches it,
interference.
by the way, if he catches it there, he's still 10 yards short. Let him catch it, tackle him, and the game's over.
So the automatic first down is the key. It moves the ball to the 49. Minute and a half. Miami still with the timeout. Pass rush again. They flip it short. Dallas is going to be swarm fights. Loses only 2 and the clock is running.
With Dan Enos as an offensive coordinator and with the way their offensive line has struggled, all you're thinking about is screen, screen, screen. That time ready for it.
Martell in the slot to the left. 2nd and 12. Williams steps up again, flips it short. His arm looked like it was hit as he was trying to get rid of the football. Zachary Carter was pressuring him, and Harley was the receiver. Gators are trying to lobby for the fact that his arm wasn't going forward.
Again, I mean, he's stepping up into the pocket, and even with their best pass rusher, Zuniga, down, you still have others, Zachary Carter that time, that can apply that same pressure.
Clearly incomplete. So now you got 2 plays to get 12 yards.
I'm surprised they're not rolling him out, trying to get him away from that pressure a little bit. Jordan now off to the left, lined up at tight end.
Williams from the pocket. Long throw, and again contact in the secondary, and another penalty. Mike Harley tangled up with Trey Dean. And it'll be another automatic first down on the 3rd down play.
I mean, if Miami ends up winning this game, it's just meant to be. It's 4th and forever.
Yep.
Pass interference. Keep them alive. 3rd down and long. 3rd and with their offensive line and their pass protection. 3rd and 12. Arms wrapped around him. Another first down off of pass interference.
Defense number 21. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So now, ball 36 yards from the end zone. Exactly 1 minute to play. Four-man rush. Williams with time. Underneath. Catch made. Harley trying to make a man miss. Dives first down inside the 25. Taylor on the tackle.
Stops the clock, obviously, with that first down.
And he has the
Still
one timeout.
holding on to that one as long as they can. This is a redshirt freshman quarterback trying to engineer this.
Incredible. A guy has been knocked down. There's a flag on the field. It's just a mistake. They got to pick the thing up. And now Williams surveying, has time, delivers into traffic, and it's broken up. Looking for Mallory, the tight end. This time, no flag.
Boy, I don't think he saw Jeremiah Moon. In fact, he didn't. Jeremiah Moon was lined up as a defensive end. Drops all the way back 15 yards downfield, and he's lucky he threw it over top of him because he easily could have made that interception.
The guy whose only previous experience was against Savannah State. First start, knocked down 9 times by a ferocious pass rush. Still trying to create a comeback victory. 37 seconds left. Williams has protection, but it's breaking down now, and he cannot escape, and the ball is out again. Yet another scrum. Miami has recovered it.
I used that last time out.
Yeah, Greenard on the pressure one more time, and still Williams is getting up slowly. The clock not quite going off in his head, Kirk.
No.
He's shown toughness, though.
He's looking downfield. The line does a pretty good job here, Chris, of giving him enough time to get the ball downfield, but he doesn't see his check down. He's got a check down right in front of him that if he just would deliver right there, KJ Osborne, who lined up wide and kind of came underneath, was just there at 5 yards. Everybody had cleared deep. There's a good look at him right there. Everybody had cleared deep, and he was so focused downfield to try to make that big play that he missed his check down, held the ball too long.
If the Gators stay aggressive, 3 down linemen look. They rush 4. Williams steps up, throwing for the end zone. And it's another flag in the end zone. He was looking for Brevin Jordan. 2 Gators in coverage. Looks like another pass interference call.
Well, he had a linebacker underneath Miller. Ventrell Miller was running with him. And over the top, he's trying to deal with the safety, Taylor. There was some contact right before the ball got to him. It looked like Miller was putting his hands up.
After further discussion, there is no foul on the play. 4th down.
They pick up the flag in the end zone, and that makes it 4th down and 12. So a conversation there with the officials.
Yeah, you know, there's no face guarding in college football, so no contact there. He gets his hands up, doesn't necessarily make contact, so no foul.
So it comes down to this.
If he made contact there, then there would have been a foul.
Needed a miracle before on 4th down. They need 12 here to keep hope alive. Bobble, Williams spun around and just fires into the ground, and that should do it. Jeremiah Moon came after him. That'll for sure be grounding if they take the penalty.
It's only fitting that
there is no foul on the play for intentional grounding.
that defensive line ends up determining the winning play. Snap didn't help Williams off to his right, and now it's just a free-for-all. How about the depth that they have in rushing the quarterback? We've seen Grenard all night, Zuniga, and now we see Moon getting his chance to get in there too.
Yep, a lot to look at, a lot to think about. Took the eye off the ball. Dallas was in the area, so no intentional grounding, but he fought hard. But Todd Grantham's defense, aggressive by nature, fast, ferocious, and overmatching Miami's young offensive line in victory formation for Florida. They had to fight hard. Favorites in this game who expected to roll. There were 5 lead changes. Felipe Franks had his ups and downs. They made it difficult on themselves late, but Franks just runs over and punts the football into the crowd to punctuate this victory.
He's a character.
The Gators got what they expected, a victory. And Miami showed up, competed, but coming up short. A lot of mistakes, 14 penalties, and those 10 sacks allowed. And Dan Mullen's Gators get to 1-0. Maria?
That's right, Chris, and Coach Mullen just said, find a way to win. That's what your team was able to do. Describe how they're able to do it with such a dramatic back-and-forth game.
I'm going to tell you what, though, what a game. What atmosphere. College football is back. This is the best. Done it. Hell of a job by Miami. Manny, you can see what he's going to be as a head coach and how he's going to get his guys to play. I love our guys. You know, I mean, you had some veteran guys not flinch. We made a lot of mistakes, a lot of things we can coach off of and clean up, and we found a way to win, which was fantastic. I'm really proud of our guys.
It came down to 4th and 12, and your defense had to make the play. How big were they throughout this game?
Seemed like they had to do it a couple times. They did. You know, they kept battling, kept fighting. Guys out here, you know, that's who you work for. Coach Savage, our off-season conditioning program, strength and conditioning, gets them going for us for these type of situations. We found a way to finish the game, found a way to win. Man, this is awesome. What a great atmosphere. College football is back. I love it.
Your quarterback, Felipe Franks, is coming up here now, and adversity, battling through it throughout a game. How would you describe his play in this first game?
I think he made a lot of good plays. You know, I think he'll know some things he can do a lot better. We can clean up, and I think he knows the faith we have in him. I mean, even at the end of the game, we're going to put the ball in his hands, let him try to go win the game for us. We did, and, you know, and that doesn't always work out the right way. It wasn't exactly how we drew it up, but you know what? He knows that we got a lot of faith in him, and we're gonna stick with him. We're gonna keep letting him get the ball to try to go win games for us.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
It was steamy, it was sweaty, it was sloppy, but it was a lot of fun. And college football is back and underway. Season 150, 5 lead changes, and the Florida Gators win it 24-20. For producer Bill Bonnell, our director Derek Mobley, our excellent crew. Great to have the family back together. We'll see you next Saturday then on ABC from Arlington, Oregon, and Auburn. College football 150. Football is us, the college game. Very cool documentary coming up right now.